Okay, so good evening everyone. Welcome to the third session of DesignCube tutorials. Right, so today's agenda is shapes and colors in Photoshop. So we will be starting with colors and then we will be moving on to the shapes. And I hope you guys are doing well on your homes. The lockdown might get extended after 17th May as well. So we have ample of time, right? Let's get started with the colors. So yesterday when we talked about colors, we had seen this color panel, right? And we talked about the foreground and the background color. And yes, we talked about different ways to identify a color. We had the hex code, we had the saturation, brightness, RGB channels, and the CMYK mode, right? So today, first thing which I want to talk about regarding colors is how to choose a color theme. And for that, the best tool is this one, COOLORS.co, colors.co. So this is the homepage of this website. You simply start the generator and you can see a color stream of 5 different colors, right? So you simply press the space bar and it will generate a new color stream. You keep on pressing the space bar until you find something good which you think you can use in your project, right? So suppose this is the color theme and I like this color, so I can lock this one by pressing this lock click, and then when I will press space, this will remain fixed and all the 4 will get changed, right? So like this, whichever color you like, you keep on locking it and change the rest ones, and you can just build your color theme like this. See, so now we have our color theme ready. If you want to export it, you can just simply click the export and you can choose in which format do you want to export this. So if I choose image, title, sample color theme, and then I can choose that in which way I want to have my colors. Do I want to show the hex code or the RGB values or the hue, saturation and brightness? So if I just show you from here, if you simply click on copy hex, this particular colors hex will get copied and you can use it in Photoshop. So let's try this. If I just copy hex and now I move to Photoshop, I go here and I control V, you see this color has got selected, right? And now if I just draw some shape, it will be of this color, right? So if we go back to our colors.co, you can drag them, you can favorite them, and you can choose different shades of this particular color if you want to change a little bit of that, right? If you like this color but you want to change a little bit of shade, you can choose it from here. You can remove this color as well. So if you are working on a small project or like maybe some mobile application or a website, if you want to use only 3 colors for your entire website or your project, you can simply delete the colors and then you can unlock them and generate new color scheme by pressing the spacebar icon, right? So if you want, you can choose a color from an existing image as well. So if you go to this, create a palette from photo, upload image, right? So suppose we choose this one. Hmm. I don't know why it's working so slow, right? So here we are. So you can just select the colors from this image. So if I choose this yellow and I choose this black and I choose this red, right? Next, open in the generator. So you see these three colors are in the generator. Now I can simply add one more color and I can lock them because I want them to be in my color scheme. And then you can simply generate the fourth color, or you can add the fifth color as well and then generate two colors, and then you can lock one and then you can generate many more, right? So next, coming on to the gradients, because gradients are a lot on fashion today. You see many of these app UIs, they have gradients. So for gradients we have this uigradients.com. You simply press the spacebar. Sorry. So this site has a fixed number of gradients already. You can press shift and see all of their gradients which are already available on this website. So you can choose any one from them. Right, so let's suppose we choose this Dracula. You can see this is showing that it shifts from this particular color hex code to this color. So if I go to Photoshop and I make a rectangle here, then I go to its, okay, sorry, gradient, this one. So first color of the gradient I want it to be this, and the second color we want to be from it. So you see we have copied the Dracula by copying the hex code of colors, right? So in this way you can choose your color theme and you can choose gradients as well if you don't know how to choose good ones or how to make new ones, right? So these are the two fantastic tools you can use: COOLORS.co, colors.co, and uigradients.com. So if we move once again to UI gradients, add a gradient. So you can add your gradient by creating an account, right? So you can rotate the gradient as well in different shapes. So this one, the red is on the left side, and when you rotate it, the red is on the top, right? Just to see how will it look, because actual orientation you will be able to do in the Photoshop only, right? And if you see, you can get its CSS as well. If you are doing the front-end development, you can simply get its CSS and you can just copy paste it and you can have your gradient in your website, and you can download it as well, dracula.jpg, right? So what else do we have? Some colors, like most of the part was covered yesterday only, I would say, the sets code and the ways to the better color, right? So let's move on to shapes now. So this was a shape, so this was a shape. So first of all, to get to the shape tool, the shortcut is U for umbrella. You press U and you come to the shape tool. So if you right click on this tool, you can see we have the rectangle tool, the rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, line tool, custom shape tool. So let's start with the rectangle tool. You can see here it is shape, path and pixels. So right now it is shape. We will come on to the other two options as well. The the fill color of the shape. So let's just keep it black, right? Stroke, yes, let's just keep it white. 26 pixels, let us see, right? So now if I draw this, simply drag, and by clicking the left mouse button you can see this. So this is a white border and a black fill. Mm, you might not be able to see the border, so let's just keep the border right. So a red stroke with a black fill, right? This is the height of 704 pixels and the width of 355 pixels, right? These are the same properties here, but here we have the curvature of the corners as well. So if you just simply drag here, you can see the corners are getting rounded. So we have this link here enabled. So what this does is, this uniformly changes the dimension of all the corners. So if I even drag here, all the corners will get changed if this link is on. If I just simply switch it off, you can see it will only affect the one which I am dragging. So maybe you want to create some this kind of shape, right? We will do this thing and this thing, something of this kind, right? So you can simply create it using the shape tool and its properties, like making a rectangle and then simply changing the curvature of its diagonal corners, right? So let's just keep it here. Did you notice just what did just happen? Like it was this, and when I am dragging it, it is in the same aspect ratio. So what if I want to change its aspect ratio? Like I want to change its width and height as well. So if you simply press shift and then drag, see, you can change its size from any dimension, be it horizontal or vertical. Whereas if you don't press shift, you will only be able to change it in the fixed aspect ratio, right? This is with pressing shift and this is without pressing shift. I don't have the option but only to scale it diagonally, right? You can change this option as well. So what if you have this width here 100%, height here 100%, and this link is on? That means when I drag, it will be in the same aspect ratio. But if I switch off this link, it will be implemented for every other shape as well, not only for this shape. So this is kind of a default setting, right, for shapes. So if I have just disabled that link, right? So similarly, like we had in the curvature path as well. So when I have disabled the link, it will allow me to scale in any portion, be it horizontal or be it vertical. And now if I press shift, it will allow me to scale it in the one aspect ratio. So shift simply inverses the effect of this link thing. If it is on, shift will make it off, and if it is off, shift will make it on, right? So let's just have it like this, and then do it like this, right? And now we will create a circle. So while creating a circle, as you can see, when I am dragging, it is changing its dimensions. So if I simply press shift and then drag, it will create a circle. Whereas if I don't press shift, it will create any arbitrary oval or ellipse, whatever you want to call it. If I press shift, it will give me a circle. If I don't press it, it will give me an oval ellipse. So let's just create a circle as of now. So it has been created with the same, or just a minute. It has been created with the same properties which we selected from that panel, right? If you remember. So let's just change its border color and change its fill as well. Pastel, no, something dark bluish kind of thing, right? So this is the circle. This has the same properties, right? Color and the stroke width. If you want to increase it, the stroke will increase, decrease. Just a minute. And the shape of the stroke. So if I choose this, you see these lines. And if I choose a smaller dots, it will get smaller. And now if I just reduce its width, see this kind of effect it is having, right? Simple dots. So you can change it as well. Hash length 20 and gap. So dash is 5, gap is 1. No, it's not allowing me to do because of the size of the circle, right? So if I just choose 3 dash and a gap of 5, why does it, right? You see the gap is increasing and the gap is decreasing. So if I just make it 5, okay, it's problem with my numlock. Shit. So you can change the size of dash from that. That is the basic part, right? What else do we have here is a polygon tool. So with polygon tool, you simply left click. It will ask you the height and width of the polygon, the number of sides. So you can choose n number of sides from here. So if I choose, suppose, nine sided polygon with smooth corners, right? So I am disabling the stroke for now. So this is because I chose nine-sided polygon with smooth corners. That is why it is behaving like a circle. If I simply switch off the smooth corners, you can see, because it was almost a kind of circular shape, so when it smoothened its corners, so we were having a kind of a circle kind of thing, but actually it was a nine-sided polygon. So you can create, so let us see, if you want to create a pentagon, and just click on it and you can have a pentagon, right? So these kind of shapes can be used when you are creating a geometry design and you want something in the background, something lighter kind of shade, right? So if I create a star with 5 sides, what will happen? 1 2 3 4 5, right? And if I create it with 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so this is the option for a star. And if I just smoothen its indents, so it was, let's just delete this circle for some time. So this star is with the smoothened indents, and this one right here is without smoothened indents, right? So you must have noticed this whenever I create a shape, it is coming on a new layer, like rectangle 1, polygon 2, polygon 3, polygon 4, polygon 5. So let us just delete them for once, right? Let's just create a new layer and now go to shape tool and now select this and choose pixels. So what this pixels do, the shape which you saw was a vector shape which we discussed on Monday, right? So vectors are basically mathematical curves which don't lose their quality however large you zoom in and however small you zoom out. So whenever you create a shape in a Photoshop, it's a vector, but when you export it, it becomes a raster image. So meanwhile you are in the Photoshop document, whenever you scale a shape, it doesn't lose its quality, right? But now we have chosen pixels from this option. So what this will do is this will create pixel. So right now my last thing was star with the smoothened indentation, so it is giving me a star. Right now it is a pixel, now it's not shape. And now if I create another rectangle, you will see that it will not come on a separate layer, it comes on the same layer, because the Photoshop is treating them as pixels, and pixels can be on the same layer, right? Whereas if I simply change it the shape now and I create, it will come on a new layer, because it wants to give me the independability of editing them light shapes, right? Now this both are on the same layer, and now I can't even select them separately. Whenever I select them, I have to select them combined, whereas this is a separate layer and I can easily select it. Now if I scale it, you can see, whereas if I scale this, you can see the star is losing its quality, right? Also, one benefit with the shape is that if you create a shape, right, if you create a shape, you can simply double click on this icon of this layer and it will allow you to fill that shape, a shortcut kind of thing, whereas going from here and then selecting this panel and then getting the color panel, right? So let us just change the default stroke. We don't want any stroke on our shapes, right? So now what we will see is how to combine shapes. That is the most important part. So this is my simple shape, right? This is a rectangle. So what if I want to have a kind of a bump in here, like a kind of a pit? I am making some kind of a game and I want some asset wherein this is a pit. So I want to make it a semicircle hollow. So one option is I create a new layer, or maybe not. I simply select the ellipse tool and I make it color white. Oh, it's getting selected. So what we will do is we will create an ellipse, we will create a circle, and then we will choose its color as white. So now because it is a white background, right, you can't see the circle, but when I bring it over here you can see the circle and you can see we have our pit which we wanted to create. But this is a jugaad, right? We just had a white layer. So what if we don't have this background? We want it as a PNG, right? Now you can see this white thing is visible, but we wanted to cut this shape out. How to do that? So what we will do is we will go to the ellipse tool, right? This particular option, you see what this says is new layer, combine shapes, subtract front shape, intersect shape areas and exclude overlapping shapes. So I right now new layer selected, so whenever I create a shape it gets on a new layer. Now I will select combine, no sorry, subtract front shape. So what this will do is, you see this minus sign with the cursor. So Okay. So here we are. So I selected that subtract front shape, and now I will simply draw a circle, and you see that shape has been cut. Now it is a single shape, it's a single rectangle with a pit. And if even if I remove this, it doesn't have any wide thing which we earlier had, right? So what if I delete the shape? I can simply delete it, right? I just remove that particular path. And now if I create that again, I can create that again. Sorry, because I didn't select the subtract front shape. You subtract, right? We have it. So let's just select the rectangle again, new layer. A rectangle is here, and then let us select the elliptical tool once again, subtract front shape. Why isn't it working? Right, because right now the circle is filled as. No, 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 no. What is happening? Yeah, it's working fine. So now what we can do is we can just simply create 4 elliptical paths on each of the corners, and we will have this shape, right? Next, what we can do is we can add a shape as well. So I will simply select the rectangle tool. We have a rectangle, and then I will select an ellipse. That was a pit, right? Now we will make a bump. So we will combine shapes. So when you combine shapes, they get combined, right? Now, oh god, why is it, doesn't it allow my selection? Combine shapes, right? And now I will draw. So these are combined, right? You see there is a bump on this road over which the character will have to jump. So you can create these kind of things. You can combine two shapes, you can subtract from shapes. What you can also do is you can have an intersection of them. So suppose this is a rectangle, right? And now I select the ellipse tool, and now I go to intersect shape areas. So what happened was the area which was intersected by both the shapes is visible to us, right? So we have a semicircle kind of thing, the area which was intersected. So if you simply change it, like this shape is selected right now, and if I simply choose exclude overlapping shapes, so what happened, that this portion which was overlapping, it excluded. So we have this kind of a shape right now, wherein this part is empty. So you can see that with with switching of the background. So here there is no background. The color is filled only in these parts, in this bump and this rectangle. This doesn't have any color, right? And last thing is this custom shape tool. So Photoshop has some custom shapes in it which you can draw. So suppose I want to draw this flower of blue color. Okay, so you see I have this flower. So you can download such custom shapes from internet as well. There are hundreds and thousands of them available on the internet, right? I can show you some more as well. Like here we have boats. So if I choose this boat, right, you can see I have a boat. So this is a very cool feature. Right. Let me show you one last thing as well. We have some wild animal as well, and we have trees as well. So if I choose a tree and I choose a green color, right, and I draw a tree, okay, my Photoshop is hanging a little bit. Actually, I'm running the Android Studio and with emulator in the background, so there might be an issue. Okay, come on, come on. So you can see this tree is here as well, and I didn't do anything. I simply selected the custom shape and draw a tree, draw a boat, and draw a flower in front of you. So that was pretty much the basics about the shape tool, and I can simply change its color from here and pink, and I want my boat to be brown, right? So that was pretty much it for today, right? In next session on Friday we will be seeing layer masks, objects and clip-in masks. So that will be a very interesting session, and I'll be sharing one image which we will be recreating in that session. So if you have any questions, you can put it down in the comments section. Please feel free to do so. And yes, that was it for today. I will be waiting for 2 minutes to see if there are any questions, and then we will end it. Okay guys, bye bye.